Okay, we have a breach here. Let's do this breach. Go. See, the gas clears everything for us. It's really nice. I have been addicted to this game. I've been playing it non-stop every day since it came out, basically. And my character here is an archer. She is just a poison archer. Her main ability is something called gas arrow. So you can see here, it just creates this gas cloud and it poisons a lot of enemies all at once. So it's really effective at clearing out crowds. And it's very low maintenance, like you just drop it and then it does the job. You don't really have to do much else. Just drop it, it deletes stuff for you, and it gets bigger over time. So even if more enemies come pouring in, the cloud just vaporizes them. It's great. Yeah, that's like the main reason I like it. It's like it's a persistent area effect ability. It lasts about 5 seconds here. You just kite them into the cloud. It's a fun build for me. It might not be a fun build for other people because they might want to be more active in their playstyle, like press more buttons or get like big critical hits or something. But I mean, I'm okay with this. Like I click on stuff, I can run away. And it's really like I don't die very much. You type /deaths and it tells you I've only died 43 times, and I probably played for like 200 hours now or something. This game is still early access, by the way. The devs are still making the game. They have a lot of stuff that they're planning to add to it. And the end game, like this is end game content I'm doing here, is mostly like the end game in these types of Diablo RPGs. It's really just to farm loot so you can kill stuff faster, basically. And I mean, that's kind of what people play this for anyway. It's like they just want to delete the screen and feel powerful. It's a nice little loop there, gameplay loops. Like you kill stuff, you get more powerful, you kill stuff, you get more powerful. And you know, in addition to the whole gameplay element, there's also an economy. There's an entire economy in this game. You can do trading with other players. You can party up with people. It's not just a single player game. It is a multiplayer game. You can party up with people if you have friends. There's also global chat here. It's like the chat is always going. So even though you might be playing by yourself, you don't really feel alone because there's people talking to you in the chat. It's nice. You can customize your base. Like there are a couple of different bases you can choose from here. Oh, hang on. That's what they're called. So you can swap to a different hideout. Like right here, you can have a forest setting, which, you know, I might swap to this one eventually. It looks pretty nice. You can move stuff around. Like if I want the workbench somewhere else, I can move it over here or there. And you can move the NPCs. You can put the NPC, like you can completely delete them if you want to. You can just like delete, then she goes away. There are decorations you can put in, like put a little cave coral. There's different variations of coral here. Then you have, this is the main portion of the end game here. This is the world map. And all of these nodes are different stages. The green nodes are ones I've already completed. And the blue nodes are the ones that I have access to that I can try and attempt it if I want to. And the gray ones are nodes that I need to complete the prior level in order to reach them. You know, I don't know if you're really trying to get anywhere, but there are like objectives you're trying to accomplish. For example, you have this objective here. If you clear this level out, then you can gain this particular hideout. You can add it to your collection. There's a lot of different atmospheres in this game. We have the sort of industrial type level here. What is this? Oh, I guess this is a boss. I just ran into a boss room. I'm probably gonna melt him, so. Go. Let's just melt ya. There goes his health bar. Yep. There you go. Too funny. But anyway, so we have gas cloud, obviously, that's what I've been using. Then we have tornado shot. So you can summon some tornadoes here. These will slow the enemies down if they walk into them, which is pretty useful because as a class who's trying to kite things, you do want them to be slow so you can outrun them. So it's useful for that reason, but it's also useful because if you shoot projectiles into the tornado, it shoots the projectiles all around. It's really cool. And then we have Vine Arrow, and this will attach to nearby enemies. When it does that, it slows them, but it also poisons them as well. So Tornado Shot and Poison Vine here they will slow the enemies so I can kite them. So that's like the main strategy, because I almost never die with this strategy, because like all the enemies, they just run right at you and then you just kite them into the cloud and they die. I also have something called Barrage, so you can press the Barrage button and this will prepare your next ability to fire multiple times at once. So it's just like basically a burst ability. Like if you want to burst something down, then you can use Barrage real quick. Very useful for applying poison stacks. Yes, this is Rain of Arrows, and it's not really, in my particular build, it's not being used as a damaging ability. It's more of a debuffing ability. I modified Rain of Arrows to reduce the resistances of my enemies when it hits them, so my poison abilities do more damage. I mostly save it for bosses, but like if you use it here, you can see they get a debuff and it reduces their resistances to poison. And like, I know it looks like I might be tanky, but really it's just because my evasion level is, I basically have a 90% chance to dodge all damage. They're just missing me a bunch of times, that's all it is. But the issue is I am pretty squishy because I've done nothing for my armor or my HP. I've tried to get my HP up, but like HP is really scarce in this game. It can be kind of nasty. Something like all the times that I've died, I've gotten one-shotted basically. that's just how it is when you're playing a squishy, a rogue or an archer or whatever. They've also integrated a trade tab into the game, so you can drag and drop items you find in the game, and then this tab will upload the items you find to the trading site, and then players will whisper you, and then you can just trade the item with them. It's really convenient. This is endgame obviously, but there's also Act 1, 2, and 3. But there's also some acts they haven't even finished yet. I think they're gonna have 5 acts to this game. So this is Act 1, this is Act 2, Act 3. I'm not really gonna get into the story because then that would spoil it. You have gems here. So you can, like I said, my character is like an archer type. I think the official term is ranger. My character is a ranger, but I can, if I wanted to, I could go and spec into, I don't know, like monk skills here if I had the stats for it, or I could become a witch and use occult spells here. So there's a lot of different skills you can mix and match. You can see they put a lot of work into the game, and it is still early access, by the way. So like I said, nothing is final, nothing is finished. There's also like, here, let me show you this here. Yeah, this is, you can attempt this sort of trial and you can get rewards for it. The main thing people do is they farm the world map that I showed you earlier. But you also have activities like this where you do like a consecutive trial challenge mode, sort of. It's like a pick your poison type of mode because they give you 3 different debuffs that you have to inflict upon yourself. You basically have to pick the one that you think you can handle. In this case, I would either have to deal with monsters having really high critical hit chance, which could one-shot me, so I'm not very... I probably don't want this one. Lightning runes will spawn on the ground. I can probably deal with this because I have the movement speed to avoid it. So I think I can deal with the Stormcaller debuff here. We'll give that a try. Alright, and usually the objective is to clear the monsters, but sometimes there's a different objective. Then once you clear them out, you can proceed to the next level here. Alright, now this trial I have to survive until the time expires, which shouldn't be too hard. Oh, also you can roll in this game like this, you can roll. It doesn't have invincibility frames, it just lets you move a bit faster, that's all rolling does. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention my interaction, like this is a really overpowered combination by the way. Like look at this, I just filled the entire screen with poison. And I just use 2 abilities. I use Tornado Shot, and I use Gas Arrow. And the Tornado, it spews the gas all over the map. That's just another OP thing about my build. That's what I love about it. Now, I mean, like, I know it might look overpowered, but like, you've seen nothing yet. Like, if you go on YouTube and you look up overpowered builds for this game, there's some things that can just annihilate everything on the map in the blink of an eye. Yeah, let me show you my my gear. So, First of all, we have my bow here. And this is a rather upscale bow, a very high DPS bow. But the reason I use this one is for the fact that it can shoot 2 arrows at once. Very important to be able to shoot 2 arrows because of my poison cloud. Like I said, poison can stack in this game. So if you fire 2 poison clouds, you get double the amount of stacks. The bows that can fire 4 arrows are really expensive, so I can't afford them yet, but I'll get to it eventually. And then we have my helmet. Helmet is just dexterity and resistances. It's just like helps me survive, and it adds a little bit of damage because, well, dexterity doesn't scale damage, but I have a passive skill that increases my attack speed. A very high evasion rating too. Like I said, my evasion is 90%, so 90% of attacks will not hit me. Of course, the percent that do hit me may one-shot me, but you know, I'm pretty quick. Like my movement speed is plus 50%. Most classes only have 35%, so I mean 15% might not seem like a big deal, but you can definitely feel it. And I've maxed out most of my resistances. The only resistance I haven't maxed out is chaos, but chaos damage is pretty rare anyway, so I figured I can deal with it for now. Now for my chest piece. Now this is what lets me move as fast as I'm moving. It gives me movement speed for every 500 evasion rating that I have. That's the main reason I'm using this as my chest piece, but I'm thinking about replacing it because I don't like being this squishy. Like, I'm okay with being squishy, but I don't want to be one-shottable, you know? Getting one-shot never feels good. So I might swap this out eventually. Then we have my amulet here, and the amulet, the biggest thing about the amulet is that it gives me +3 to all projectile skills, which is just more damage. Like, basically everything is geared towards doing more damage, because if I kill the enemies first, then they can't kill me. That's the whole idea. Then we have my quiver here. It's really just more damage, okay? There's not much special about it. My bracers, these are pretty standard for any poison build. They let you apply an extra stack of poison to your targets, so that's just more damage. The belt is just a tri-res belt. Tri-res meaning triple resistance, because resistances are super important for endgame, because if you don't have maxed out resistances, then you'll probably get one shot. So you want to pick what I would consider the least important gear piece to stack your resistances on, and that's usually the belt. Because the belt can't have those really good modifiers that improve your damage, so that's why you stack resistances on the belt. And then we have my boots, and the boots are just dexterity resistances and high evasion, like most of the armor I have here. And we're also going up against a boss here. Let's see how fast I can melt him. Let's see what happens. All right.
I suggest you aim for the head.
To him. Oh wait, I gotta use my. He just went invulnerable. He's in a little tornado right now. If I get caught in that, I'm dead. Oh my god. There we go. That wasn't too hard. Although I did panic with the tornadoes because like I said, I am really squishy. If anything besides a melee attack or a projectile flies at me, then it's going to bypass my evasion and it will directly impact my life. Now here's another boss, okay. This boss can one-shot me, and I have been one-shotted by this boss a couple times, so it's really just a matter of reacting to this one ability that it has. It does like this impale. It raises spikes out of the ground. If you get hit by the spikes, then you're dead, basically, so I just have to watch out for that. Like, it has one trick. Just one trick I have to be wary of. Oh my god, I just got hit by the one trick. Oh my god. Oh, he's dead. Okay, I just got hit by the spikes I was talking about. Okay, listen, there's one issue I have with my character and my build. It is the fact that the gas cloud right here, it makes certain attacks really hard to see. Because obviously, like, the entire ground is covered in green stuff, so I literally cannot see the floor. I can't see the floor. I cannot see indicators for certain attacks, and that has gotten me killed multiple times. So that was the Trial of Chaos thing, like this whole area here. Being able to customize your skills is a pretty big aspect of the game as well. So, for example, I have Poison Burst Arrow here. And I've modified it in a couple different ways. Like, for example, I've made it so it does more damage to lower health enemies. Poison breaks armor. I get less movement speed penalty while shooting. So I'm basically moving at full speed while shooting these arrows, which is pretty nice. And you can mix and match them. You can put that there. Whatever you think is useful, you can swap out on the fly. Oh, by the way, there's this entire passives tree here. This passive skill tree is immense. There's so many different ways you can move here. You can see this is like what my passive skill tree looks like. And I've mostly gone and went, like I said, with a poison type of build. You see most of my nodes here, they are all about damage and poison, and also evasion as well for my defenses. So yeah, that's what most of these are. But if you're a different class, like say you went to Sorceress, for example, you would start here, and then you would go down the Sorceress tree. And you could branch out. Like, let's say you want to be a warrior hybrid. You could instead go for like the monk tree, which is over here. It's like where the monk starts. And you can get some more like melee oriented types of skills. So yeah, I won't say there's no limit, but there's a lot of flexibility in terms of what you want to do with your builds. I quite enjoy the flexibility this game offers me. That's a big reason why a lot of people like it, including myself, is that you have this immense amount of choice in both like what you want to do and how you want to build your character and how you want to approach the game itself. Yeah, it's a fun experience. I mean, I would recommend it if you guys like this kind of type of RPG. You should probably give it a shot.